this is live. Well, apologies for the further delays. I've got a dog here who is a bit sick today. So I had to get her up here. Okay, you want to go up on the bed? Okay. Hold on, we got some dog. I can move the camera over here if y'all want to see this dog. Hold on. I got some Master Duel going. I have fixed the myriad technical issues which have been plaguing this stream. And apparently, we've got a good connection now. If anyone finds any issues with the stream, let me know. But first, we've got dog over here. Hi. She's looking. She's been pooping everywhere and on herself. So that's not ideal. And we're gonna play some Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know if people are gonna show up to this because this is like the third time I've posted the stream. Everyone is going to be very confused. But hey, let me just check the stream from another device to make sure that it's really playing this time. Oh yeah, we got it. Okay. The stream finally works. We're an hour late, but maybe someone will pop in anyway. So, right now I've just been playing a replay. Hello, Nehru. Hello. I've had some technical issues with the stream, but it seems like I've got them fixed. If I don't have them fixed, do let me know. Right now I'm just playing out a replay that I had the other day against some Exo Sisters with a full back row, just showing off how Crystal Beasts can muscle through a lot of disruption. I've also got a Rescue Ace replay somewhere of fighting through every card in their deck. And I remember because I was able to stop their field spell, they weren't able to recycle, and then on turn 2 I dropped the Rainbow Dragon for game. But just playing this out for a bit with my weird Master Duel versions of Crystal Beasts, which are some weird mix of control and combo stuff, because Crystal Beasts can so freely pivot between those two playstyles because they both use the same cards. Today I'm also probably gonna throw in some Noble Knights because I had that Noble Knight video. Though the challenge is going to be my real-life Noble Knight deck uses the Flame Swordsman engine, which is not in Master Duel, so I'm gonna try out some of the silly Arthurian Noble Knight techs that some of my viewers have chimed in with. It's gonna be a silly time. And we've got the dog over here on the bed. She's sick today. Because, well, anyway, I gotta keep an eye on her. And if she's got an issue, I'm gonna have to pop out of here real quick. Hopefully, there will not be any interruptions. Yes, the new Infernoble Knight cards have been added to Master Duel, but not the Flame Swordsman cards, which I use because those are TCG exclusives, which were in the new Maze of Memories. And last thing I want to do before I get to the ranked duels is get a chat window on my streaming software so I can see y'all. And with that, maybe I can make myself a little bigger here. Get some of that streamer personality in there. Well, there I shall be. Maybe that's a bit too over there. Well, alright, I'm gonna get to some of this ranked duel. SP Little Knight is now in Master Duel. So that's not going to be the greatest time, but I've been using it. Crystal Beast can use it pretty well. They can spam anything out of the extra deck. What can't they spam? I was editing my usual Crystal Beast deck. This is not the one that I built on stream last time, but they've become pretty much the same thing. But if there are any silly engines people want to see, I will throw those in. I'll not be going first for this duel, huh? Oh, okay, I am. I'll take it. I mean, it's not like the opponent's going to be using Tenpai. That's not in here yet. Ooh, not a good hand. I could go for Salvation and Necro Valley. I would have Necro Valley plus Conclave, and I could get Bridge of the Heart next turn. I could also go for Conclave plus Miracle, which will give me a strong opening. First off, okay, you want to see Arch Nemeses Protoss? Well, personally, I prefer Escatos, which just doesn't get as much attention because Protoss is used in Sword Soul because it's a worm type. And so Sword Souls are able to search for that one using their own cards. But for a pure Nemesis, well, for an actual Nemesis engine, I think Escatos is better. But that's just me. So here I'm going to go for the boring opening of Necro Valley. I don't have my Dragon Ravine stuff in here because Dragon Ravine is capitalizing on spammy field spells, and I don't have spammy field spells anymore because Foolish Burial Goods is limited and Terraforming is banned. I'm very bitter at that. Squish says, have you looked at all the White Woods archetype coming? Looked at all at the White Woods. I mean, my extent of White Woods experience is that the other day I threw like all the illusion cards in a deck and they happened to say illusion on them. Here I'm going for a very boring, just Baguska Necro Valley, because I've also got Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates and Crystal Conclave to follow up on the next turn. Go into some good stuff, instead of staying with this here. Well, so I don't know about the Whitewood stuff. I know it is like a Diabell Star origin story that is apparently like a reference to Bayonetta, perhaps, of all things I read. Curious pick. But after seeing that it was related to Diabell Star, I just tuned out the whole thing because that is out of the range of what I'm willing to pay for a deck, and expensive decks I just don't pay attention to. I don't experiment with them at all because I know even if I find something fun, I'm not going to use it. Right, we've got Cyber Dragons. They can go for their Link 2, which can boost its attack points. Ooh, Clockwork Knight. That's going to be a problem. And my back row doesn't do anything here because I went for the Necro Valley. I wonder if going for maybe Miracle plus Conclave would have been better. That would give me 2 disruptions and plenty of follow-up. Now the opponent has broken through Baguska. I still have Necro Valley, so... Okay, yeah, and in case of a tough battle phase, I could also use Awakening to summon something to eat an attack. Crystal Beasts plus Noble Knights. I meant Crystal Beasts or Noble Knights, as in, after playing the Crystal Beast deck, I might switch to a Noble Knight deck on this stream. Not putting them both in the same deck, although... if we can think of any possible point of interaction, why not try throwing something together? But I don't see it coming. Well, anyway, I've got a very easy move here, because when I use Rainbow Bridge of the Heart to destroy the Amber I'm summoning, that's going to trigger Conclave to get me a new summon from the deck. You misread the title. Well, maybe I miswrote the title and we should make Crystal Beasts and Noble Knights. I mean, Crystal Beasts can search for field spells. They've got level 4s to help make level 5s. What do I want to search for? I'm gonna get a summon. I think I'm gonna search for Beacon. And I will play Sapphire off of this Conclave. I've also got the option of Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. But do I get rid of the... If I'm gonna go for Saryuja Skull Dread, then I'm going to have World Sea Dragon Zealantis. That's going to banish the Fortress Dragon, which will wipe out its attack boost anyway. Alright, we got Zane versus Jesse. Man, I love Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I have been experimenting fervently with the new GX box, trying to make a working Neos deck. I've made so many different versions of Neos decks. I wonder, can I just push for so much damage? You felt Beacon was weak. Are you not rainbowy enough to understand its power? Yes. Because... oh, maybe I should have gone for a Sapphire, because I can bait out a Primal, because I've got 3 stupid options in hand. Beacon is very, very good for going turbo. It is also another way to go turbo, which is another way to play through Disruption. Whereas if you rely on Golden Rule as your only way to create a swarm, then if the opponent drops 1 Primal Being, you're kind of done. Whereas if you can start off using Crystal Beacon, you can follow up later with your Golden Rule, play right through that Primal Being, continue where you left off, even use that token to get to your rank 4, Link 4. Yeah, this is easy here. So I can just put back the Rainbow Bridge of the Heart that I searched for. The opponent doesn't have any hand traps here. This is going to be an instant Rainbow Dragon. So what Squish says, Whitewoods is part of the Diabell Star lore, but they don't have mechanical synergy and aren't typically played together better. And Runic. I can't wait for Runic decks to die. I am not a fan. I think it should not exist. The way it banishes from the opponent's deck before they're even able to play their cards, I really hate that. Especially as a Crystal Beast player. If my Crystal Beasts get banished, I'm done. Well, I'm less done now that I have Nemeses in this deck. Very much appreciated being able to use Nemeses to play through stuff like that. And I think I'm just gonna drop the double rainbow here and call it a day. Sorry, Steve, the Cyber Dragon player. I really do love just dropping 2 Rainbow Dragons and attacking for lethal damage. Taste the rainbow. I have been using these Nemeses cards to play through banishments, and I have loved having that ability for sure. Yay, the first duel was a win. I also really love how one Crystal Beast deck can go totally turbo if it goes second, or control stuff when it's going first. So even, like, whether I go first or second, I have a really solid game plan. Oh. You try to add the Beacon back. Yeah, and if you're having trouble trying to figure out how to play Beacon, play it Solitaire and just see how many hands you can make that Beacon relevant in. Another good option is, like, if you start with Crystal Bond, or you have Sapphire and Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, then those cards are great ways. Hold on, Zexal deck. Okay. If you use stuff like Rainbow Bridge of the Heart and Crystal Bond, it makes those Crystal Beacons much easier to use, and Again, excellent for faking out those primal beings, playing through them. Zelda Duelist says, what was your opinion on the TCG ban list? How good or bad is it for Sapphire Surprise? Well, I forgot for a moment that I have a video on Colossus that I'm editing right now. It's a whole bunch of ways to play Thunder Dragon Colossus in a Crystal Beast Turbo deck. It's also very playable in Sapphire Surprise. In fact, I already had Nemeses cards ready to go for this unbanning because I played Nemeses in the oldest versions of Sapphire Surprise, so I can bring those right back in. They are excellent for link materials if you want to make Vert or SP Little Knight. We might revisit some of those old versions of Sapphire Surprise and really seriously get the Nemesis engine running in there. This hand... Oh, this is... I didn't even realize what they were doing. This is that FTK. Stupid Zexal FTK. That's upsetting. Well, at least it ends the duel much faster than I do. Right, gain life points, and then what? When you gain life points, opponent takes damage, yeah. There's nothing I can do, probably. Ugh. Whatever. Blah. So anyway, new ban list. Yeah, I have thoughts on that in my next Yu-Gi-Oh video, although the video I'm uploading next week will not be about Yu-Gi-Oh. Well, actually, it is gonna have a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh in it. Look forward to that. Of course, I still have to finish scripting that and then film it and edit it. So I'm gonna have to put that Colossus combo video on hold, but the Colossus combo video is gonna be very good. It was just a real pain in the butt to record. And I think the TCG ban list new one is kind of a friggin' joke, because they ban stuff like Summon Limit, but then they unban other floodgates, and of course they barely touch Snake Eyes at all. That's just how Yu-Gi-Oh does it these days. They hit everything except the top deck. They make it very clear that the ban list exists to sell cards. Anyway. Yeah, I hate the new list. But, hey, I can make use of Colossus. And Noah says that he's also been workshopping some Neo stacks. Well, the Neo stacks that I've been workshopping have been Speed Duel, not Advanced Format, which is probably the kind of Neo stack most people are interested in. I've been fascinated with all the different ways I've found to build Neos in Speed Duel, and yes, and Skill Drain is still at 3, so Konami's a joke, but what else is new? But these Neo stacks in Speed Duel. I've been trying to make like Hero Beat with just Grand Mole, or a deck with... Oh, wow, I won! What did I do? No complaints. Oh, yours have been Speed Duel! I am so interested in talking to you about the Neo stuff. So I started off using mainly just Grand Mole, but then I threw in an Aqua Dolphin and an Air Hummingbird just so that in a grind I can make Storm Neos and destroy all the opponent's spells and traps, return problematic cards to the deck. But the Aqua and Air have been really disappointing, mediocre draws, so I figured I'll take them out and use just Grand Mole. But the different rules of Speed Duel, the loss of main phase 2, and this completely bricked hand are just not conducive to a good life, but maybe the opponent will destroy this Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. Are old DM skills legal in Speed Duel? Yes, they are. And the old, in like Battle City Speed Duel stuff, it's totally compatible with Speed Duel GX. You can play them all together. You can send tier laments. Well, what if you didn't? It's hypothetical. Yeah, Gaia the Fierce Knight is probably still a top deck in Speed Duel, which is going to be some news to most people. What is King Sarcophagus? That's the most powerful card in all of Duel Monsters. Hello, Lucky? Well, welcome to the stream of many technical issues, but we've fixed them now, and now we're talking about Speed Duel. So I tried making a Neos deck that only used Grand Mole because he's the best one. Oh wait, those are continuous, those are not activated effects, so I need to play my Maxi now. Okay, it didn't let me respond to the resolution. Ugh. I experimented with Aqua Dolphin and Air Hummingbird, but it hurts when they both end up in my hand with no play starters. EN Shuffle helps a ton. I love EN Shuffle. EN Shuffle also has been the key to making an actual functional Jaden and Cyrus UFO-roid fighter deck, which every time it does anything, I am like over the moon. And this dumb guy negates the first card I play, right? Yes. And it seems like it's mandatory, so I can bait that out. He did not get rid of the Rainbow Bridge of Salvation, which is troublesome for me. But does this negate and destroy? No, it just negates the activation, but I'm not gonna have a way to get this destroyed, so the only thing I can do is just attack into that Tier Laments dummy and that. I mean, what's in the graveyard? Yeah. Wait, what? Yeah, that's I can't play through that. Oof. Bad hand. Wow. You are playing a Jaden and Cyrus UFO-roid fighter deck? I would love to talk about it with you. It's got so many discard costs, but EN Shuffle has been a great cost because then you can use its effect from the graveyard to draw a card. If you don't have Neos in the graveyard, you can dump it using Prisma, even if Prisma's effect has been negated because he's been summoned off of the skill. Sending the monster is a cost, so you can still get Neos in the graveyard, even if it's negated. See, I got nothing to do with this hand. So I've been using EN Shuffle as the spell discard. The trap to discard is still going to be Emergeroid Call, although I've also been using Paleozoic Canadia. Yeah, that Tier Laments player negated their own trap, but unfortunately they still had negation going. I mean, they had the Tier Laments, bricked my monster, and that would get horse cards back in the graveyard to play again. I was not going to get out of that. Ugh, so UFO-roid fighter. Also, Prisma can become UFO-roid, and that gets you 500 more attack points out of a fusion. It's also really easy to dump Necro Shade, and Neos is better to use than Blade Edge because you've got the EN Shuffle returning it for a draw. And Salamangreats have their new support. And if I don't draw a Crystal Beast in this hand, I'm done. Actually, they're probably going to have all their traps. These have not been good hands. Maybe I should... and then I think... Maybe if I was playing my more control-focused Crystal Beast deck, I wouldn't get bad hands like this, but most of these cards are present in the control build also. Which is another reason why I don't think there's there needs to be much of a difference between control and combo Crystal Beast decks. They both run off the same cards. Ugh. Anyway, I was talking about Neos stuff. Using Grand Mole in a Neos deck is actually not that great because of a lack of main phase 2 in Speed Duel. You can't attack with Grand Mole, bounce something, and then summon it again. Grand Mole becomes a very passive card in Speed Duel. And so if the opponent doesn't attack into Grand Mole, he's going to stay on the field, and if he stays on the field, your field's not empty, so you can't play next from the hand, you can't summon Neos using the skill. So once you put Grand Mole down, you're kind of at the mercy of your opponent, although I want to go back and experiment more with using more of Elemental Hero Prisma, so I can turn that into Neos, and then go into Grand Neos, switch things around. I've also been trying a Speed Duel Neos deck that uses all of the Neospatians, and I threw in Card Trooper for milling, because I realized they need to fill up the graveyard, and they've got so many things that spend and empty out the graveyard, and they don't have good ways to fill it back up, so I try to use a lot of Convert Contact, and the idea is that you can use Card Trooper to mill things, then you take damage when it loses, but then you're going to draw a card, and you can use Generation next if you've lost life points to search out any Neospatian you want, or Sphere Karibo. Anyway, Neo stuff is fun. You've been playing Dogmatica Invoked, and you peaked at Platinum 3. You're struggling a lot this season, you fell to Gold, you can't get past. I think the main hurdle for me in climbing up the ranks in Master Duel has just been that I rarely play Master Duel. I've only started playing it again to climb up for these streams, because nobody wants to watch me play through, like, Silver and Gold. Do I have a local that plays Speed Duel? Unfortunately, I do not. Well, I do, but it was... I vlogged about having a local store that was not a very friendly place. They do Speed Duel tournaments and even like Tag Duel tournaments, which is really cool, but the people who go there are not great, and I vowed I'm not going back there. So unfortunately, very little competitive real-life Speed Duel stuff, although I'm fine with not having any like IRL competitive Speed Duel opponents, because competitive Speed Duel is not that much fun. It just revolves around the same few strategies. But anyway, is Evil Hero a deck in Speed Duel? Yes, it is! And arguably it is more of a deck in Speed Duel than it is in Advanced, because the threshold for the number of cards you need to make a deck is much lower in Speed Duel, so you actually can make an Evil Hero deck. The one that I have is basically just Sparkman Turbo, where you play Sparkman with Dark Calling, and there's a Supreme King skill card which lets you search for Dark Fusion whenever you need it. So you use Dark Fusion to combine Sparkman plus a substitute. You make Lightning Golem, destroy an opponent's monster. Then you can also use Dark Calling to make a second Lightning Golem and immediately attack for game. As for like using other... Oh my. This is not the kind of hand I want to see in life, and that's... Oof! Big ol' oof. I suppose I have a chance of maybe surviving the round and getting one more draw, but it's not gonna go anywhere. You can... other Evil Hero strategies would be like Evil Hero Malicious Edge, 1 tribute, gets you a 2600 Piercer. And, if I had a Crystal Beast, if I just had a friggin' Crystal Beast, this hand would win. But alas. If you want to use Malicious Edge, you can... Oh, don't destroy my cards. Yeah. Ugh. He's going for the Pyro Phoenix board wipe to destroy my set card, and that would have just been it for me. Oh, we were so close. This is not going well at all. Alright, well, one more duel with this deck and I'll switch things up. Anyway, I was saying, Evil Hero Malicious Edge, if you want to make that one, you can play a Paradox Brothers deck. They have a skill which will allow Malicious Edge to attack twice. And with Piercing, that's going to hurt. And they've got the little guy who... What is it? Infernal Prodigy? You can special summon him, and then you also get a draw off of that. It can be very threatening. Like this hand. I will show you some Crystal Beacon combos. This is a perfect hand for beacons, because I can overextend, and if the opponent drops Primal, I have Golden Rule to follow up with a second Swarm. So those are some options for Evil Hero and Speed Duel, and if you don't have any of those Evil Hero cards for Speed Duel, the game's dirt cheap. I have like almost 50 Speed Duel decks, and I didn't spend all that much on them. Only need 20 cards to make a deck, and like nobody wants them. And the boxes are incredible value. And you can also sell the secret rare pulls from the Speed Duel boxes, get some of your money back. And so going down the comments, we've got Frosty asking if I have any ideas for the Singleton event coming up next week. I just saw the announcement for Master Duel's Limit 1 festival when I logged into this morning, setting up the stream. So I don't have any ideas for it yet. The first thing I thought is branded, like the whole Abyss lore, you can easily make a branded deck that uses one of every card, because they all just combo together so well. Pretty much no matter what combination of cards you draw across branded, Despia, even throw in like Tri-Brigades if you want. Whatever you draw, you're gonna have stuff that works together. I don't think a Crystal Beast deck would work very well in that. But, I'll try throwing something. Oh, you could definitely make a Noble Knight deck. Infernoble can already get away with using like one of every card. Would have been much easier with Flame Swordsman in Master Duel, but that's gonna be who knows how far in the future. I mean, my Infernoble Flame Swordsman build is already like 31 ofs and then a few triples. Well, this hand is gonna do whatever I want. Let's see, I've got... Well, I'm gonna have... Oh, you know what? I was supposed to do my Nemeses combo to bait out the Primal. But I was talking about Speed Duel, so I messed up. Well, anyway. Even if they drop Primal here, I still get another way around it. So, no, I don't have many ideas for the Singleton event, but Noble Knights and Branded would be my picks. And Noah says, you just moved from your city where you had a big local scene. You miss playing with friends. Oh. Yeah, I'm also considering a move somewhere, and then I thought to check if there are any OTSs around there, and closest one's a half hour away, but then I figured, closest one to me was 20 minutes, but I don't go there anymore, so now the next one's 40 minutes, so I don't go often. Yeah. But, you said you mostly just play with your boyfriend? Well, that's the best way to do it, because then everybody gets to play whatever cards they want. Casual Speed Duel is by far the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Experience ever. And I was... yeah. And maybe you'll make new friends. Even if they don't play Speed Duel yet, you can convert them. I believe in you. You built a box of decks for Speed Duel, you're like 50-something too. Play a draft box, yes! I mean, I thought I was completely crazy for building so many Speed Duel decks, but it's so easy. Like, it's... You only need like a couple dollars of cards and you can build the next deck. Well, I'm going to have Ruby and Sapphire triggering at the same time here, so I'm going to use Ruby as Chain Link 1, Sapphire as Chain Link 2. So during Chain Link 2, I can place another Sapphire, and then in Chain Link 1, Ruby's going to move that Sapphire up, and then that's going to trigger another summon. Take a drink every time I summon Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus. I still have Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates, wow. That's nice. Then Nehru asks, is playing double Carbuncle mandatory, like double Rainbow Dragon? Well... In terms of playing around Call by the Grave, you don't need a second Ruby. I mean, the second Ruby would still be negated anyway. And if you play Nemeses, you will already have a way to recycle it. Now this is going to be an obnoxious Wombo combo turn that's going to go on forever. So you definitely don't need double Ruby, but I find it helpful so that I can keep Rubies in different places. Because sometimes with this deck, like, you might want to place another crystal, but you might also want to leave one in your graveyard. Like, if I'm setting up a Rainbow Ruins play, I might want to keep Ruby in the back row for when I fill up Rainbow Ruins, so that I can summon it from the back row, but I'm also going to want to keep a Ruby in the graveyard for when I summon the Sheep. And the Sheep can pull something from the graveyard. So I'm going to want a Ruby in the graveyard and one in the back row. And also, it's a good draw, now that we have... Well, it's often a good draw, now that we have Golden Rule. That's the thing with Crystal Beasts. Sometimes the monsters are bricks, other times they are exactly what you need, like in the previous duel. Like, a lot of people play Crystal Beast as, like, the Conclave control build, because they don't want a hand full of bricked Crystal Beasts, but then with Conclave control, as we saw in this previous duel, if you don't draw enough Crystal Beasts, you can't do anything. Oh, I've got Rainbow Bridge of the Heart in the back row, so I won't be able to go for a full Rainbow Ruins, but that's fine. Let me just do what I'm doing here. So yeah, you don't need double Ruby, but I prefer it. Oh, I'm special summoning someone. Okay, you. And the Squish will be playing Super Heavy Goblins. I have no idea what that means for society. What does Super Heavy Goblins do? I know those new, like, Goblin Bikers are a rank 3 engine. Anyway. The dog has not moved. She's been curled up in a ball. Not a peep out of her. Not... for those who are just tuning in, my dog's had some issues last night and through today. I don't want to have to wash her butt again. Now at this point... yeah, I don't really need to do anything here. I've got more cards than I know what to do with, so I might as well just not even use the sheep. It's just sitting up there, offering up some link materials. Wow, I'm under the time limit. I have been so distracted. Let me just focus on getting this wrapped up. I'm gonna hold on to my Crystal Beasts as much as I can, because Now that I have 3 crystals off Rainbow Ruins, every crystal beast is negation. And I'm going to put Apollousa above the World Sea Dragon so that I can get it co-linked, and the World Sea Dragon will destroy the opponent's cards if they try to attack over my stuff. We're going to turn this Nemeses boy into a Colossus and end by normal summoning Ruby. So I'm going to have 3 monster negates, 3 spell trap negates, Colossus, and destruction during the battle phase. That's pretty good, I think. Guys, Squish, let us know what super heavy goblins do. Sounds weird. I personally don't like the goblin bikers, so otherwise I would experiment with them a bit. So the goblin bikers are a really efficient rank 3 engine. The super heavy samurai engine adds additional starters and the ability to make Sargus and search Regulus. Really? Super heavy samurai does rank 4 stuff? Or rank 8 stuff. You could make it off of Merrymaker or the ship. Noah was a frog player until they banned your froggies. Well, you know, those frogs really had a ban coming their way. Let me tell you. Alright, I'm gonna switch decks to Sapphire Surprise for a while. And I'm gonna take a moment to see what I'm running in today's version of Sapphire Surprise. You know, it's a little bit of a mess. Do I want Dark Ruler no more? Or maybe Forbidden Droplet? Yeah, the frog cards are cute, though. I was really disappointed in the new Speed Duel box because they just went with 4 guys and 1 who's not even part of Season 2 at all. Jim, what are you doing here? I was hoping they would dig a little deeper and bring us the Frog Princess from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and maybe give us like a Death's Frog deck. That would have been fun. This is full combo. This is a full combo in a number of ways. So let's do this. I'm going to start by using Karis to go through Nerval, and that's going to search for a Fractal, which will search... Nope, I already did that wrong. Ugh, I don't have a second kit in this build. I just checked my ratios here. I should have sent the kit. It is... Wow, very first move and I messed up. Oh well. Well, at least they did get 1 meme character in that deck. I mean, in that box, which was Belowski. Yeah, Jinx, Moki. I've been a little disappointed in the Moki deck. I mean, if you watched my video about the new Speed Duel decks and like my initial thoughts on them, I've since had many more thoughts, but anyway. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Moki skill. It's terrible, and it's so poorly designed, and it directly conflicts with human wave tactics. How can you design a Moki deck that can't use human wave tactics? That's like the Moki thing. But I've been experimenting so much more with those Moki cards, and I think I found something that works. The only thing I found that works is trying to use Foolish Burial as a Moki searcher, combine that with like maxing out Dark Factory of Mass Production, and also using Tri-White. So that will give you many more ways to assemble Mokis, and to assemble them more efficiently as well. Because fusing 3 together, plus a discard, plus you need to have another Moki on field for the skill to work, it's a lot. And I eventually figured out that the only way you can get enough Moki cards to power those skills is... it's so difficult to talk deck building while playing Sapphire Surprise. Yeah, I've been thinking of making a little deck profile video for Moki Moki. So yeah, the skill takes so many resources. You need 5 cards in total to fusion summon Moki Moki King, and to have another Moki left over so that you can destroy the king and also trigger... and what do I want to do here? Nothing. I should have done this... so many things I should have done differently with this turn. Anyway, the only hope of getting enough resources to get those Moki cards off... do I want to put this back, or do I want to put this back? I think I can put this back. I should have used it earlier. I could have gotten a couple more cards out of this. So next, I'll just go from here. And the only way you're going to have enough resources to pull off Moki Moki Madness is if you are gaining cards by using Dark Factory Mass Production and Tri-White. Aside from that, you can also use... Okay. Surrender. Thank you. Okay, I'm just gonna talk Moki for a minute. Dog is being a little weird. Hope she doesn't have an issue. Are you okay? Hold on, I need to go see the dog. Are you okay? Hello. Hi. Hello. Do you want your blanket? Oh, here's your blanket. I'll put it right here for you, okay? Alright? The dog is sick, so I need to keep an eye on her. Anyway, Moki Moki. So in addition to needing those spells, Foolish Burial to get Moki out of the deck, and those 2 spells to gather them out of the graveyard, you also just need to dedicate a huge fraction of the deck to Moki cards so that you can draw them. So I keep my Moki deck at just 20 cards and fill it up with like Galaxy Cyclones and Limit Reverse. Limit Reverse is good because it gives you a way to revive your one Moki Moki King, and you can also self-destruct your Moki card by switching it to defense position, giving you another way to trigger Moki Moki Smackdown without having to resort to single-purpose cards like Bones Alone. Man, the 2 of us are going to be the only people in this chat who understand a word of what I just said. I hope the dog is not feeling nauseous right now, otherwise I'm going to have to run out of here real quick. We are up against Bonfire and... no, that's Wanted. The Wanted poster and Bonfire look like the same card. They've got the same color scheme, the same like lighting effect. One reason why I have not been using Sapphire Surprise much lately is because I don't think it has a good matchup against Snake Eye, because Snake Eye just puts so many cards on the field. And like Sapphire Surprise is really good at picking off problematic cards, but against just a whole bunch of blockers that are going to come back, it's probably not the greatest. Especially compared to my regular Crystal Beast deck, which uses Rainbow Dragon Overdrive, just wiping the board, winning no matter how many cards your opponent puts on the field. It's been a while since we've had a top deck which just spams a whole bunch of chump blockers on the board. You did not think to use Limit Reverse for Moki Moki. Well, it's just a totally new type of effect to have in Speed Duel, so I went through all of my decks thinking about which ones could use Limit Reverse the best. I am kind of obsessed with deck building in Speed Duel, because it's so much fun. And also, I'm a GX fanboy. Is the audio sounding good for everyone? I'm like very, very paranoid about audio. in these streams. Well, we're just gonna take a nap. This is potentially not a great hand, although I'm seeing I can use Brandon High Spirits. I'll get Brandon Red at the end of the turn. I get an Albus Search. But the opponent's probably going to have Promethean Princess waiting in the graveyard by the end of this. Link Karibo's in the Clink Karibo now. Yeah, Limit Reverse is like perfect for Moki Moki because that deck does not have many available draws because so many of its draws need to be the stupid Moki cards. So you're going to need things that can multitask. Limit Reverse is a way to assemble Mokis, it's also a way to revive the king, and it's a way to self-destruct and trigger Smackdown. Yeah, someone else who spends hours working on Speed Duel decks, oh yes. It is very, very fun stuff. I think the dog is a little uncomfortable, so I gotta keep a close eye on her. I don't want her to explode her bodily fluids all over this room on stream. Amphibious, Swarm Ship, and Blow Whale. But enough about my ex. Heyo. I don't know. There's a joke in there somewhere. Look, I'm tired. I was doing yard work before all the technical issues of this stream. So, if I summon, or Snake Eyes thing does it any time, the opponent's going to have IP, and that's going to go into... Wait, hold on, what did this say? What's going on? Target IP Masquerena, yeah. You got nothing in the graveyard right now. I'll have to save Called by the Grave for Promethean Princess. Well, I did get a great draw here. But will I be able to play through... I think the only thing I'm going to have to play through here is SP Little Knight. Because I can use this to keep Promethean Princess in check. Oh, okay. You can go for that right away. Oh, maybe they're going for Apollo? Probably. Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Then that's... Do I want to stop the Flamberge Dragon? Let me think here. So, if I don't stop it, they're going to get 2 level 1s. Would I rather deal with the Promethean Princess destroying 2 cards? I think so. Because also, this will prevent the opponent from using it on the following turn. So I should be in a pretty good spot. Although I still do need to find a way to play around Apollo. What am I thinking? I could, like, summon Ecclesia. If this fakes out the Apollo, it'll have 16. I won't be able to get over it using a Saint searched off Brandon High Spirits. But I can follow up with Karis if they negate... If I search for Courier and they negate Karis' summon. But if they don't negate Karis' summon, it's going to have 1600. I won't be able to attack over it. Well, let's see where this takes us. And if I can fill up the graveyard for Revolt, that's also going to help me survive the round. Many decisions. Golden Sword Soul? Well, I think I would appreciate having some special summons. But I could also summon Springen's Kit. Ooh, lots to think about. Because can I get this thing destroyed if I don't do that? If they negate Fractal, I'm not going to have a play after that. So I have to go for something like Springen's Kit, I think. Maybe I should have used the Fractal before just to see what the opponent would have done. Oh yeah, I messed this up terribly. Oof. Big oof. I've got what? That's my only beast in the grave. Well, let's see if we can fake them out with this. They're probably going to assume I'm going for like branded fusion. Did I discard Rainbow Dark Dragon? Oh, they're probably very confused right now. But hey, things are weird. I have nothing right now. I have totally nothing. Ooh. Yeah, so I'm a bit rusty. I have not been playing Sapphire Surprise lately. Now here I could summon Karis, go into a Link 2. I would have 3 beasts in the graveyard. I also have Albion the Branded Dragon, which can search for something if I... but I don't have Albus in the grave, so there's no use going to dump Rinbrum. It would get me one more beast in grave. Let me think. I have Fractal in grave now. If I get High Spirits... No. Ugh, I'm so rusty with Sapphire Surprise. It takes way too much mental effort to pilot this deck. But now... yeah, Branded in Red's not going to be helpful, so I will just set Branded in High Spirits. There isn't very much I can do with it here. Ugh. It always takes me a while to get back into Sapphire Surprise. You have to be very careful to play around every bit of disruption that the opponent's got. And man, is it weird seeing a Jet Synchron with 1600 attack. I'm probably just gonna get Wombo comboed here, right? Well, in terms of interesting things I could search for on the opponent's turn here, this is going to send Brigran the Glory Dragon because I have a beast. That's going to search or summon a Tri-Brigade monster at the end of the turn. Did I leave him any fire? Ugh, yeah, of course I did. Ooh, Link climbing was a mistake. So I'm going to get Tri-Brigade monster at the end of the turn. I can also search for the Golden Sword Soul if preventing one attack is what I need, although I gotta check the timing of Promethean Princess. So this triggers if a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, summon this back, so even if I negate an attack with the Golden Sword Soul, the opponent gets another attack, so this won't be helpful. Darn. Well, it negates an attack and then summons himself, and then they would have to use the new attack to destroy him, but it set us back a little bit. And there's SP. Come on, don't pick the Revolt. Oh, they picked the Revolt. Then I'm gonna have to use it. It's gonna summon from the graveyard or banishment. Graveyard is empty, banishment has just 2 beasts. So... oh, no. Wait. I can get Bear Brum out of this. Because the other beast in grave is Sprain's Kit. So I only have one Tri-Brigade monster. So I would not be able to make Bear Brum. But by chaining Brandon High Spirits, I get Karis in the graveyard. And let's get the amazing, incredible, fantabulous Ecclesia ready to go. And whatever she wants to do. So I'll summon these, make them into a bear, but wait a second. Bear Brum doesn't do anything for me right now. Because I've already searched out the one Tri-Brigade Revolt that I use. I don't remember what I play in this deck. Dog is okay, he's just looking around. I think she doesn't feel like napping anymore. Are you done with your nap? Well, you gotta stay in here, okay? She's not happy about having to stay in here, but I have to keep an eye on her. Hold on. You want me to put the blanket on? You want it on? Here you go. Whoop. Hello, I'm still here. Brigran the Glory Dragon activates. But now if I summon, the opponent can use... well, go ahead and destroy Tri-Brigade Kit if you dare. So even if they destroy Kit, it'll replace itself. Now, maybe, well, I'm gonna move some things around here. Okay. Oof. Alright, well, Farragut being destroyed is not so bad either. Let's see this. Destroy one more card on the field. I think the Flamberge Dragon's going to be negated. I wonder if the opponent realized that. Because Called by the Grave was like 50 moves ago. We'll peek ahead at the next draw. I've already got Tri-Brigade stuff coming along, so I'll put back the Fractal. Yeah, and I'm not worried about the kit being destroyed because that's going to send a Nerval, I get another Tri-Brigade monster, and now that I no longer have a monster on the field, Ecclesia can be special summoned for free. So now the Nerval triggers, I'm going to search for another Fractal, and if I don't need the Fractal, I can discard that and go through another Nerval. Right? Yeah, she doesn't play Yu-Gi-Oh! She just eats the cards. Alright, I'm gonna have to play through this very quickly now, because I'm running out of time. But I've now hit the Crystal Beast engine, I've got Albus going. I just can't go for Albus right now until we get SP out of the way. Yeah, I've got the graveyard filled up. So I think I will go for a special summon here. Let's see. I'll send Nerval, search for Karis. Maybe I'll find another monster somewhere in this turn. I don't have the luxury of planning my turn ahead right now because I'm running out of time. And also trying to multitask. Playing the game, narrating the stream, and checking on my dog to make sure she doesn't have explosive diarrhea. So if I go for Sure Egg here, I can bait out the Little Knight. And with that out of the way, I will be able to go for Fallen of Albus. I should also keep a card in hand for Albus to discard. Forgot about that for a moment. Oh, did I just play into Infinite Impermanence? Is that going to negate my card even though it was off the field? Oh, this is the worst day of my life. And I don't have Nerval in the graveyard. I mean, Courier in the graveyard. Oh, that's bad. Well, that sucks. Yeah, that was a very, very sloppy duel. I apologize. Oh, streaming is hard and I'm very bad at it. I'm gonna give y'all a better duel than that. This has been... Ugh. I've been doing real bad on this stream. Ugh. This does not meet my expectations. Yeah, it was very stupid of me to drop that rainbow into an occupied column. Oh, I hate Infinite Impermanence so much. That's gotta be like the #1 card that makes Yu-Gi-Oh! Players feel bad. Ugh. But if I pay attention to my moves, I can't narrate as much and I'm not gonna entertain y'all. Because everybody's here for my amazing personality. After this, let's see what I've got for the Noble Knights so far. I may need to go crafting, so we're gonna have some time to chat. Yeah, so this is... I'm familiar with this engine. And it's basically a one-card Xyz monster that can snatch up the opponent's monsters. Which means it's probably... It's probably going to be Unchained in these new Fiend piles. Which have kind of always been a thing, but... I had a commenter request that I look into a budget Fiendsmith deck, and let me tell you, I've never seen a deck that uses so many cards that didn't get reprints. Like, a lot of these Unchained cards are from Eternity Code, which for whatever reason apparently did not get 10 reprints in the yearly Mega Pack, which sucks all the value out of main set booster packs. But these Fiend piles are just so many old, expensive cards that I am not gonna touch. Because, I mean, hey, for the price of one Fiend pile, you could build 50 Speed Duel decks. Or is this an actual D/D/D/deck? I think it is. Oh, I have to read? What does it do? Don't destroy it in battle. Okay. That's all. Well, this hand that I've got does nothing. The last card is really gonna make or break this hand. And now that the dog has been tucked in with a blanket, she is resuming her nap and not gonna projectile vomit. Which I'm not convinced is a real thing. It just sounds ridiculous. Anyway. Ugh. I mean, people think my combo decks are crazy. I look at this deck, and my brain just goes numb. It's way too open-ended. I like when a deck is built out of a whole bunch of like specific combos. Even though you play a bunch of cards in a row, it's going through familiar plays. But trying to get into a deck like this is just way too much all at once. And anything with level changing and Xyz monsters, my brain just does not follow along with. This looks like end board kind of stuff. Negates anything that tries to summon. Okay, so don't summon. And don't destroy this. That's fine, I don't need to destroy. This one, once per turn, yeah, that doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. And then this guy is the one that sucks up the opponent's monsters once per chain. Detach to or destroy Dark Contract. It is not once per turn. So the opponent can do this over and over. See, if I had Rainbow Bridge of the Heart accessible in this hand, I could play through it, but no, I have nothing. Maybe it's just not a good meta for Sapphire Surprise. That was miserable. Ugh. Okay, let's pretend we didn't see anything here. Oh. Oh man, am I not getting out of Platinum 4? That sucks. This is bad. I need a better deck. I need Noble Knights. If I can find it. Oh. It's right here. Okay, so this Noble Knight deck. I don't have many of these cards, which means it's time to spend. And the Infernoble Knights, the new support, have not been added to a secret pack yet. So I'm gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna need 4 ultra rares. So that's gonna be 120 ultra rare points, and this is, it's messy. So I'm trying to use Mordred in here, which someone had recommended. I don't know why I have 2 Richards. I don't need 2 Richards. It's a bit of an oof. I've got the Ika combo. I don't know how many people here watched my Noble Knight video, but I've got a lot of that stuff going on here. I looked into a Super Heavy Samurai engine, but it uses like 6 ultras. I'm not touching that. Whereas like in real life, they're all commons. And little Battle and Boxer engine here, although I'd have to go grab the other Battle and Boxer, because I don't think the Infernoble Knights on their own are gonna cut it. Oh, I already had that card in here. You kind of need some kind of complementary engine to play Infernoble Knights, whether that is Battle and Boxers, or Super Heavy Samurai, or Fighting Flame Swordsman. We don't got Fighting Flame Swordsman here, so I don't got my traps. And that makes me sad. So I just threw this together with some cards for going first, or some going second stuff. Someone who I played at a regional told me about using White Veil, which in the advanced format does not take control of the opponent's monsters. Nobody but me and Noah will understand that. But it does kind of wallop trap-based decks, although I don't know if I've got the gas for that. My boy, Great Shogun Sheen, let's grab that. I want to try using just a few of the Brits in here. I've got this from my very weird Sapphire Surprise builds. I want to pull up one of those, by the way. I have tried to take the concepts behind Sapphire Surprise and apply them to some other weird decks. You can see in my list I have like Sapphire Fleur and Sapphire Surprise 3, Sapphire Surprise 2, and Sapphire Surprise 2. What's the difference? Who knows? And this deck used Rockets with the Fleur cards, but now Wyver Burster's banned. I would have to remove one of the Chaos Spaces and one of the Quick Launches. Let me just see. I would be very surprised if anyone has tried to make a deck like this work, but the concept behind this was expanding on one of the original engines of Sapphire Surprise, in which the searched Rainbow Dragon would be fuel for Chaos Space to get one of the little dragons, which you could then use to banish the Rainbow Dragon from the graveyard. Wait, I have Rainbow Dragon in here, but I don't have Sapphire. Oh. Hold on, we can make this really weird. So, it was basically using Sapphire Pegasus to get a rank 4, like Trap Tricks Rafflesia, which can negate hand traps, and then you would follow that up by spending the Rainbow Dragon on Chaos Space, which could get you to a draw, and Hieratic Seals Spheres of the Sealy Spheres, which I believe is the proper name for that card. So what we've got here, I think a lot of this deck is still intact. So I think I can do it. I think I'm gonna update my Sapphire Fleur deck, which is going to be very confusing for everyone involved. How do I... Hold on, I may need to back out of here. We're gonna build a very weird deck right now, y'all. And we're gonna see it in action and not know what we're seeing. Although I also want to check, do I have a more updated Sapphire Surprise thing going? These are just very bizarre engine piles. This one had Nemeses and Tri-Brigades. Okay, this is the version of Sapphire Surprise, which I was going to take to that YCS in Hartford. But then, just a week before the tournament, Vert was banned, and now like a central piece of this deck no longer worked. So I had to scrap it all, try something else. But I think I can try to make a version of this work again. Okay, this is going to be a cerebral experience. Just try to understand what's going on here. It is a pile of silly engines, which can all play into Sapphire Pegasus. There. That describes the deck. So I have to remove one of the Chaos Spaces. And I can't use this Chaos Dragon anymore. Hello, Mr. RO Gaming. I have decided to dig up one of my old engine piles and see if I can make it work again. This one is very weird. It's a bunch of small engines which revolve around the things that Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus can do. But a big part of it was Black Dragon Collapse Serpent and White Dragon Wyver Burster. The White Dragon is banned now, and also Chaos Space is semi-limited. But maybe I'll go make that Rokket Fleur deck work too. These are weird old decks. Yeah, so to update this, I would have to get rid of the White Dragon. If I still want to summon that, This one doesn't have the crystal beasts in it. And down here we could also work in SP Little Knight. Also, one of the concepts behind this is that Noble Knight's Shield Bearer can search for this thing, Horse of the Floral Knights, which you summon it and you can search for Spear Holder, and then it fuses with Spear Holder and becomes Centaur Mina, which summons a level 2 monster back from your graveyard. I've also considered Sprite stuff with this card. And then if you Synchro Summon it, well, Synchro Summon a Wind Warrior, which just isn't going to happen. Anyway, and then after a Shield Bearer has been banished, you can return it for the Nemeses. And this deck does use an Arch Nemesis boss monster. And a whole bunch of random Rokket cards. And it would be best if I could cram some Crystal Beasts in there, so let's do this. If I can figure out how to... There we go. So I'll add Sapphire Pegasus and related cards. Let's see what kinds of combos we can make out of this. If I add one additional Crystal Beast, then I can start using Crystal Bond as like a makeshift emergency teleport. I may need to switch Rainbow Dragons here. This is how we build decks in real time. And I only need one Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. It can be returned with the Nemeses anyway. And down here... Oh, the dog is dreaming. She's dreaming about running and barking at someone. So I might have to be a little quiet. If we can fit Rainbow Bridge of the Heart and Awakening in here, that'll be good for us. Although I don't know if we'll have enough resources to cram all of this into our plays. We'll see how it turns out. I gotta get Rainbow Bridge, which doesn't pop up here. We're at the limit. Okay, well, this has to go. Well, what do we remove here? I've got Elemental Hero Neos in here so that, check this out, if you use Sapphire Pegasus, you can place the Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, you link up into Vert, which sends Neos Fusion, and then you get an instant Rainbow Neos. Oh my, here he is. You get an instant Rainbow Neos. Heritage of the Chalice can search for Shield Bearers to get more access to those combos, or if you already have the Shield Bearer, it can alternatively search for Noble Arms Haute-Claire, which can give a second attack. So you give that to Rainbow Neos, 4 summons gets you to 9,000 damage and a board wipe. Isn't Crystal Master kind of cool here? What would Crystal Master do in a weird build like this? There's just so much going on in this deck. The first thing to do is to get it down to 60 cards. Noble Knight Spearholder is able to search for an equip spell, which is why I have Living Fossil in here, although it can also search for Boral Regenerator. Maybe that's just as good. I'll send this away for now. I've got Reinforcement of the Army as a way to search for Shield Bearer, but maybe instead of that, I could use another one of these heritages. And that gives me another way to search for the Noble Arms. Well, okay, I'm just gonna pull 4 cards out of here, as I feel like it probably... Well, something else I was experimenting with in this deck was for Vert to be a way to get to boss monsters on my turn. Hold on, what if I have Evil Swarm Nightmare in here for? I don't think I need that one. I think I can put SP in here instead. Man, I'm just like not super sure what all these cards are for. It's been so long since I've tried to play this deck. But I'm gonna add SP to this next. Whoop. How do I search? Okay, maybe I need my touch screen controls to do this. But I'm gonna add SP and IP. And then I'll be ready to take this very strange deck for a spin. Of course I don't have it. Now, it may be... I notice a lot of people have left the stream recently because this is kind of boring. But, okay. I'm gonna just pull a few cards out of this and get on with the show. Well, let's see if I can remember what this deck does. And then maybe I should just really go for the Noble Knights. What's wrong with this deck now? Oh, did I not switch to a different... What was I just editing? You understand nothing, but you'll get the combo eventually? You might not. Yeah, this has got some wrong cards in it, but I'll just show you how it plays out. It also uses Rokket cards, which was to play off of the Chaos Dragon engine. If you can hit Chaos Space, it's really good. But now the Chaos Space is semi-limited on here. Limited and advanced. It's just not going to hit that as consistently anymore. Ooh, so here we go. If I can keep a level 2 on the field, Hoppier Squadron's going to turn that into Herald of the Arclight. And because I'm using Noble Knight's Shield Bearer, I am going to have 2 banished monsters, so I'll be able to go Nemeses Flag into Nemeses Corridor, and I think I'm going to have Corridor and Rafflesia and Arclight. So you'll get it when you see this turn played out. The first thing I want to go for is Traptrix Rafflesia. This can send Gravedigger's Trap Hole from the deck, which can prevent the opponent from trying to disrupt me here. I don't really remember what this thing does, but... So the flag is going to get a Corridor. The Corridor turns into Colossus, and with the Hoppier Squadron, the flag turns into Herald of the Arclight. And sometimes I've used Nemesis Umbrella in here, which is the water one that gets a Nemesis monster back from the graveyard. And that helps you to recycle the recyclers. I did not seriously test this deck now that it has access to Colossus. Colossus opens up a lot of new possibilities. But I'm very TCG focused. I tend not to take deck building on Master Duel seriously. should have had the activation setting to on beforehand. Dog is stirring a bit. The dog has been very sick and she is feeling weak today, but she's got a view out the window, so she's hopefully comfortable enough. So now we've got Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz. All we need now is a Link monster, and we can unite the dimensions, or whatever happens in Arc 5. I didn't watch Arc 5, nobody did. Oh, hello. You just... Yeah, just a new position. I have to go comfort the dog. Oh yes, you're very stinky. Yeah, you got a stinky poopy butt. That's okay, we can fix you. Oh! I just saw my monster get fused away. You can't fuse my fusion monster. Ah. Okay, Tearland Scream is gonna fusion summon, but I can negate that with Gravedigger's Trap Hole and get 2,000 damage. She's looking at me. Hi. I know you don't want to be on stream, do you? What is this? This is trying to negate. I think if it's destroyed, it destroys all of my monsters or something, but hey, that's worth it to stop the tier elements. Yeah. I don't think the dog is comfortable. Ah. 5 chain links. It's a tier elements deck. Okay, so maybe Sapphire Fleur isn't, or Sapphire Rokket Fleur is not doing super well right now. What are they fusion summoning? Oh, that's not threatening at all. Okay, I take it back. Sapphire Surprise Fleur Rokket thing is doing wonderfully. I've been holding on to an extra Heritage of the Chalice here so that I have the option of searching for that Noble Arms so I can get 2 attacks. The opponent's only got 1 relevant card. Now if I search for this, I can get up to level 8 Synchro, but I don't have any Link monsters in the graveyard. But I do have Sapphire back in the deck, and Rainbow. So I can go for... No, I cannot go for another rank 4 option. I'm trying to remember which crazy engines are in this deck. And I don't have a Utopia engine in this build. Because this is not the version I was taking to the YCS. But we can always go for silly Link monsters. You okay? Oh, I'm really hoping the dog does not have a medical emergency here. The opponent could have like infinite impermanence. No, they don't. They would have used it. So I'm gonna go for the damage. Oh wait, they've got the tier elements thing. If a monster is summoned... Oh, and you control a tier elements monster, so they cannot do that. Which means I'm gonna go for Rainbow Neos. One of the concepts behind this deck was to have a whole bunch of cheap engines that can pump out boss monsters, so that I can summon more boss monsters than my opponent can negate. And so if this goes through, Rainbow Neos sends the Anaconda to get rid of the opponent's monster. Or I can also wipe out their graveyard. They don't really have a graveyard, so You send this useless Link monster now. Get rid of the opponent's monster. Use Heritage of the Chalice. Search for Infernoble Arms Outclair. Give it to Rainbow Neos and attack for 9,000 damage. That is the concept of this deck, and I'm so glad it worked on the first try. So, what do you think, Nero? Is this crazy enough? Now I want to go back to my other Sapphire Surprise build. Because this didn't use the Rokket stuff or the Fleur stuff at all. It worked! It was crazy enough to work. Wow. And there you have it. That was the spirit of the original Sapphire Surprise. Now let's go drudge up the original Sapphire Surprise. Although we do need a couple of edits. I have to... Let's see, you say you're sure you'll understand why every card is there, but I think you are falsely assuming that there is something to be understood. And I would not claim that. This version of Sapphire Surprise also does not have the Utopia engine. So this build that we're looking at right here has Tri-Brigades, Nemeses, Crystal Beasts, Branded, and it's got some Chaos stuff, it's got some Noble Knight stuff, it's got Rainbow Neo stuff, so that's 7 engines. It does not have Rafflesia. Is this a later version of Sapphire Surprise? Yes, it is. This is a later version of Sapphire Surprise. Wait, no. Oh, it does have Vera. Okay. So this is it's a weird engine pile. You know what? I will get a working version of the original Sapphire Surprise together for another day. But first, I'm going to switch back to the Crystal Beast deck that was built on stream. I think it looks like I took Patchy out. No, he is still in. Okay. So this is the weird combo-filled Crystal Beast combo control weirdness that was built over the other 2 streams. The dog has resumed her nap. She is very sleepy. I hope I can get a Patchy combo off of this. Oh, I can get anything I want off of this. Okay, once again... Wait, no, I can't. I don't think I can fake out a Primal Being here, because I don't think I am running Crystal Beacon. Although I can use Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates as a Crystal Beacon. I just have to make peace with... not going through Salvation this turn. But I already have Necro Valley, so I'll just make the Necro Valley work. Or they can Ash this. Oh, silly me, I should have placed Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. I'm so distracted, I promise I play much better than this off stream. But I am thinking a lot about the dog right now, because she's been sick. I got it. Also, she looks really cute right now. Which is rare, because usually she looks like an evil monster trying to destroy my life. Let's see, this stream has been going for how long so far? When did I start this? At like 3? It's been an hour and 45. Okay. So the opponent's got Zombie World. This might be an actual zombie deck. Was anyone here present for the last time I faced an actual zombie deck. They were using Doom King Baylor Dock, and I kept bouncing it back to the hand, which is the place where it does not summon itself from. It was a very silly duel. Very silly. And I think they were also under Necro Valley for at least some of that. I don't know if they've noticed the Necro Valley, but between Necro Valley and Bridge of the Heart, I think I can stop all their zombie stuff. Let's see, Zombie World does not affect my cards at all. I don't have anything which requires certain types on the field. Yeah, I used to play Destiny Hero Zombies, but I have not kept up with whatever zombie decks have been doing since then. I know it's a lot of synchro summoning and a lot of stuff that would have been crazy broken back in the day. But now, you know, now it's just here. Let me see, let me try to listen to something. Is this ranked? Yes, this is platinum. Okay, I think the opponent is trying to make sure my Sapphire goes to the graveyard here, thinking I'm gonna run out of resources to keep fueling this Bridge of the Heart, but I've still got Cobalt and I've got... Oh yeah, this is... Yeah, this is not up to par with those Snake Eyes decks. I think I've been lucky that like, those openings when I go for Necro Valley just happen to be the ones where I'm facing a zombie deck. I'll take it. I think I'll just go for a quick kill here. I look like an actor, you say. Well, funny you say that, because I do act. And I like to keep up appearances. So here I'm going to use Crystal Bond to search for a Ruby to summon from the hand, using Golden Rule, place just a bunch of Crystal Beasts and attack for game, simply. Just Unga Bunga right now. And see, Nehru, this Crystal Beast build only uses one Ruby because it's more control focused. I think really the main difference, it's just going to be small changes in ratios between control Crystal Beast and the combo Crystal Beasts. So we place our Crystal Beasts and just attack. This is 8,000 damage exactly. Yeah, I think the dog is going back to sleep. Yeah, there are not a lot of people, in my experience in theater, who play card games. Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't tend to attract actors who tend to be very social people. But I was into Yu-Gi-Oh! Before I was into acting, and I've held on to the Yu-Gi. You think I'm cool? I'm putting this stream on the fridge, and then my parents will finally be proud of me. I mean, I did have a lot of friends before I, like, you know, the panini happened, and I haven't seen my friends in a long time. Also, a lot of people moved away. Well, anyway, I also didn't really go around broadcasting that I played Yu-Gi-Oh! And I didn't have any, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Content on my YouTube channel until, like, a year ago, and then 5 months ago when this stuff took off. Ooh, we got Revolution Synchron. Ooh, I hope this Rainbow Bridge doesn't get ashed. Because then we get to go through the Synchro combos. Please let that be, like, a Gizmech and not Max C. But even if it is Max C, I can still get 2 negates out of this. And they'll only get 1 draw. Oh. The ash. And now the dream dies. I don't have another way to a Crystal Beast with this hand. Something else that I've wanted to try doing, especially with the Nemeses, is cutting Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon down to 1. Which can complicate some combos, like if I'm trying to play around Ash Blossoms when I'm going for Crystal Beacon, then I will place Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon early, and then also place it again later. It's another case of, like with the 1 or 2 rubies debate, it's a card which you're going to want in multiple places. And if you run only 1 copy, you cannot cover your bases. You will be more open to more vulnerable to disruption. Ah, oh, stupid 1-hit kill. Oh, that was a rotten turn. Big oof. Yeah, let me see. I'm going to try removing one of those rainbows. And I will put Amethyst Cat back in. I took Amethyst Cat out because it was mostly just an extra name, and I don't need an extra name anymore because I have the Nemeses, which can return banished Crystal Beasts. But I will try out 1 Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, because if that had been an Amethyst Cat, then Miracle would have been live to stop that Xyz. Check if I have Shield Bearer in here as well. So what do I think Crystal Blessing? I was just thinking about Crystal Blessing the other day. Because Crystal Blessing is in Speed Duel. It's not an easy card to figure out a use for. I only like decks with 40 cards. I do not like decks with 40 cards, because my decks tend to play a lot of combo engines where I'm likely to draw a good hand no matter what I see. Usually, I don't like strategies which rely on having to draw specific cards. And in modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, many cards are designed to not be drawn, and you are actively punished for drawing multiples of the same card, because they can only be used once per turn. So it is actually advantageous in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! To run more than 40 cards. Or to run a deck which is capable of consistently running over 40 cards. So, plus, the rule of sticking to 40 cards came from an era of Yu-Gi-Oh! In which drawing a card was the only way you could get to it, whereas these days, you search for everything you need. And if your deck is bigger, you will also have more search targets to go for. Now, I'm not gonna go for a Infernal Flame Banshee combo right here, because I don't have any follow-up for if I get hit by a Primal Being. So I'm gonna go directly to Saryuja Skull Dread so I can draw some new outs. Okay, so Crystal Blessing. It was a tough card to justify before Golden Rule, but now that we are in the post-Golden Rule era, it's very difficult to justify. Now, what kind of opening do I go for here? I'm not going to need the Ash Blossom. I can get a field spell, so I don't need this. Do I go for Necro Valley and Valence World, or City and Valence World? That's going to come down to how... yeah, I'm going to go for... well... Spanish is your mother. Yeah. Soy hispanohablante también. But I don't think I'm prepared to speak in Spanish right now because trying to pilot these decks on stream while also narrating them and talking about different cards is very, very difficult. There's a lot to think about right now and to concentrate on. I've been making a lot of misplays. But, to go down the line, Gamer123 had asked about Crystal Blessing. It's a very difficult card to justify when we've got Golden Rule pulling 2 cards out of the deck, whereas Blessing is getting 2 cards out of the graveyard, and graveyard... we don't really need graveyard recursion anymore. Hold up. You wanna go? Come here. Who's that? Dog has to go. Let me see. I'll be back in a second. Alright. So, placing a crystal here. I'll grab it from the deck. I've got Valence World going. So I can also use this to move up Sapphire. Now I'm going to have 2 Sapphires to summon off of the upcoming World Sea Dragon Zealantis. So at this stage of the strategy, I'm just gathering crystals, and if the opponent chooses to summon something off of Dinotherium, we'll see if they fall for it. This is a cool combo with Dinotherium. It can summon itself for free, but then the opponent gets the option of summoning from your graveyard. They did not take the bait. Had they taken the bait, then World Sea Dragon Zealantis would have summoned that monster back to my side of the field. Anyway, back to Crystal Blessing. In full disclosure, I have not tested Crystal Blessing in a very long time, and the last time I did test it was shortly before Golden Rule, and it was just not useful. I was always putting it back in the deck with Saryuja Skull Dread. And it's also not a card that's going to help you at all unless you already have your combos going. Whereas you should be playing cards that can get your plays started. Sorry, just trying to keep track of the dog. So yeah, Crystal Blessing tends to do nothing at all unless your strategy is already in motion. And that's just generally not going to be useful. And now that the opponent's got no disruption here, I think I'm going to go for my Nemeses combo. So this will search for Nemeses Flag, and then Nemeses Flag will search for Nemeses Corridor. I only have 1 banished monster currently, but I will get another in a bit. And I'll have a video about these combos in a few weeks. It's not going to be the next video, but after that. Okay, getting back to the chat, which I've been very behind on because I'm trying to play out these combos. Muchas gracias, porque exactamente en pocas palabras, yo intento aprender inglés, pero es difícil. I mean, I can't speak to whether learning English is easy or difficult, but I still need to get back to brushing up my Spanish. It's a little rusty. But I think YouTube letting you do like automatic captions also has automatic translations. You could try that. I tried it once and it didn't work very well. But a nice thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! At least is that you can still see the cards being played. You can still understand that much. And so I'm gonna use Rainbow Overdragon's attack boosting effect just to get a banished monster. And then Link Summon. And keep the Apollo above the World Sea Dragon so that they are co-linked. Then. Now Gamer says 60 card deck, 1 or 2 beacons. I've heard of people using 2 beacons. I personally think it can be kind of risky. I haven't actually tried 2 beacons. Well, for the times when I felt like I needed another spell, like just some other spell that can summon things, in those days I would be trying Crystal Promise. I would also try Crystal Aegis, the common spell from the starter deck, but Aegis is really bad, and I've never found any way to make it work reliably. Crystal Promise has always been better than Aegis. Alright, this was a sloppy opening. I only have 2 Speller Trap negates, 3 monster negates. That's a total of only 5 negates in these floodgating the opponent. Yeah, it's not great. I think this morning, before the stream, I played against someone who had Rokket, followed up by 2 evenly matched, and I negated all of them. I would not be able to negate the second evenly matched here. Yeah, that's fine. What's this gonna do? I haven't seen this in years. It just searches. Alright. And that is if leaves your monster zone or pendulum zone. Does that accomplish anything? Is that... Huh. I don't know why they did that. Maybe they were trying to bait out my Crystal Miracle because their face down card is the only way out. But if I've got the opponent pinned down here, then might as well go for it. I've got Rainbow Dragon in here. I apparently don't have enough crystals. But I'll just destroy one, then I'll probably have enough. And whatever that is, I can just destroy it. And then I will definitely have enough Crystal Beasts in the graveyard to swing for game with Overdragon. So anyway, on Crystal Beacon, anytime I felt that I needed another spell in the deck to search for, I've been trying out Promise. And the thing with Beacon is, like, when it's useful, I can search it out. And usually it's useful because I'm searching for it using Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. And if I wasn't searching it through Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, it might not be usable anyway. So that's why I haven't tested a second beacon. I just don't think it's going to open up many new plays. And so, yes, I know Spanish from school, but also I've taken like, how many years of Spanish? I started in 7th grade, so that's like 5 years of Spanish in high school, and then I took another 2 years of Spanish in college. I think once I get this Spanish, yeah, we got the 11,000. So I studied Spanish for 7 years, but I haven't had to use it in a while. So like, I can still understand it, but speaking Spanish in conversation is difficult. I do, though, have dreams where I'm speaking in Spanish fluently and like everything's in Spanish, and then I wake up and I'm like, wow, I wish I was that quick with my conjugations when I was awake. Well, I want to get out of Platinum here. Platinum Tier 3. For wherever I am. I'm gonna keep going with this deck. You know, true English just from university. I mean, English is a very strange language that pulls random words and rules from other languages. Why do I keep opening with the two valence worlds together? Ah! Ugh. Anyway. Yes, so English is a very weird language. There's so much about English that is probably, like, I imagine very difficult to learn if you did not grow up hearing it everywhere. I've got a good combo here. If this ruby gets negated, I can probably keep going, or I'm gonna use Golden Rule up next. So I'll have 2 crystals plus the ruby. Maybe go for the Necro Valley. No, yeah. Okay, so you're playing 60 card version with Revolution Synchron and Dragon Ravine with Destrudo. Let me keep thinking here. So you were thinking of swapping for 2 tunings. I saw someone else using tuning with Revolution Synchron and Crystal Beasts. It's certainly a good card. And the reason why, I guess main reason why I don't use tuning is because I don't want to buy a second Revolution Synchron, and that seems like the kind of thing you're going to want multiple Revolution Synchrons for, and let me see. Am I good to bait out the Primal here? I think... No, I'm not, 'cause this is not my turbo build. So I shouldn't do that. I keep forgetting which build I'm playing. So I was going for a turbo strategy here. Anyway, yeah, it'd be great to get Crystal Wing more. The main way that I've been searching for Revolution Synchron has been with Foolish Burial Goods sending Clockwork Knight, which is another way to get a discard option. Play into Droll more, but you're safer from them. Well, I think Droll is a much bigger threat than Primal Being. Because, as I keep saying here, you've got ways to play through Primal Beings. If you have another spell, then you can make another swarm. Every spell that summons Ruby is potentially another swarm. So if they stop the swarm that you make off of Golden Rule, or Beacon, you follow up with the other spell. So I'm not afraid of any Primal Beings. And now let me just return some of these. It's a little too late for Revolution Synchron to show up. And didn't I just use Golden Rule? Yes, so I will return the spare Golden Rule. Now I have unbricked my Valence Worlds. Excellent. And the next one... Oh wait, no, I forgot, this is, again, not my turbo build. I'm not going to have enough rubies for a combo that spams my field by summoning Ruby and Sapphire through Skull Dread. Well, this is still going to get enough crystals to activate Rainbow Ruins. And check this out. So I'm going to use Saryuja to summon Sapphire Pegasus. I think I did this in a previous duel as well. Instead of placing a new crystal with the Sapphire, I'm going to place another Sapphire, move that up with the Valence Worlds. Now and that's still going to get me to the same number of unique crystals. But now that I have 2 Sapphires in play, I will be able to resummon 2 Sapphires when I play the World Sea Dragon up next. It's a big advantage to get as many Sapphires in play as possible before you go for the second Link 4. Because now I'm going to have 4 crystals, and when I get another summon, well actually, something I'm going to do beforehand. Okay, so to narrate what's about to happen here, I'm going to resummon all the monsters on the field. Now that I have 2 Sapphires, I will get 2 more crystals. That's going to bring me to 4. And I will have my Sheep Summon coming up next, so that can get me to my 5th crystal, which is enough to use the summon effect of Rainbow Ruins. However, I used Rainbow Bridge of the Heart to get here, so I need to free up another Spell and Trap Zone. I can do that by using Heart to bounce the Valence World that I gave to my opponent. But that leaves the opponent with a clear field, so if they have Infinite Impermanence, which has been shut down by the Valence World I gave them, they will now be able to use Infinite Impermanence again. So, before doing all of this, I activated Rainbow Ruins. In this moment, as I trigger Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, I now have 4 crystals. So if my opponent has Infinite Impermanence coming up next, I've got negation for it again. And let's see what I've got off of this Rainbow Bridge. So I don't think I have Beacon in this build. Yeah. But I can still go for Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates, because I can't get to a sheep right here because I have 2 identical monsters. I also don't want to take my last Crystal Beast off the field. So what I'll do is activate both effects. Oh, these are the only Rainbow Bridge cards left in the deck. So this is... Oh, whoops. Send that to the graveyard. That's going to cost me a negate that I probably won't need. So I'll just summon whoever here. The point of this Amethyst Cat is just to be a Crystal Beast sitting on the field so that... Oh wait, no, I don't need to go for my Nemeses combo either. Yeah, I can just go for the sheep. I've drawn the corridor, so I don't need to go any more overkill than this. I will just wrap up this combo. I'm going to go into Overdragon next, which will trigger the sheep. I can summon Sapphire again. I will have the back row filled up. I can summon Bow of the Goddess, throw down the corridor. But before Link summoning Bow of the Goddess, I'm also going to use Rainbow Overdragon's attack boosting effect, so I can get a second banished monster, so I can play the corridor. And we're almost done with this doozy of an opener, which got more cards in play than I could fit on the field. And this is not maybe a great deck to play on stream because I have to think so much about these combos. And sometimes I end up misplaying, or I just play too slowly, and I start running up against the timer. Oh, I did not need a second banished crystal. I forgot I was not doing the full Nemeses combo. See, it's hard to keep track of everything all at once. Anyway, now that we are wrapping up this turn, Back to the comments. Yu-chan says, that's your casual look? That's a formal look for me. Well, this shirt kind of looks like a bow tie here, but it's not. It's just a flannel shirt and a cardigan. I do like to dress up. Yeah. I just really, really like fashion. After being just a card game playing nerd for my whole childhood, I discovered acting in theater and fashion. I discovered that I didn't have to be unsatisfied with my physical appearance. And so I got really into fashion. And beauty stuff. Because I like to look good. And it was also a good way to cure a lot of bad feelings about my childhood, which stemmed from hating my appearance. And being surrounded by a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players who were not very friendly, I didn't quite realize that I didn't have to settle for being like them. Those people from the OTS that I don't go to anymore. Anyway. It doesn't matter what this Magician's Rod searches for. Oh wait, it can't search at all. I have a Colossus. And 3 more negates over here. So, doing this, they can summon Dark Magician. That's fine. They can do that. Because during the battle phase, I have my co-linked World Sea Dragon. So that's going to stop them from attacking. Yeah, it seems a lot of people on here don't realize that World Sea Dragon Zealantis has this quick effect during the battle phase. And no, I'm not going to use Amber Mammoth's effect. I have never, ever used Amber Mammoth's effect. So useless. I want to switch back to my... I do want to switch back to my turbo build, or alternatively, I could remember that this is my control build and go for a more control setup. It's just so tempting to go for the full combo, but maybe, considering that I'm playing on Master Duel here, it might be better to do the quick control opener and just get the duel over with. Oh, this is a good hand. See, these Crystal Beasts are not bricks. Now it's safe for Crystal Bond to get ashed, and I will still have something to fuel Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. But first, we gotta sit through some of these rank 3 shenanigans. Who had the Goblin Biker deck? Let me scroll around. Goblin Biker player probably uses this. Squish used the Goblin Bikers. Ugh, these Xyz Armor cards. I have seen the Xyz Armor series in so many deck profiles, but every time I try it for myself, it does nothing. So I guess now we're gonna see it in action. Full Armor Xyz, just Xyz summon, and equip something to it. Finisher rank number 17. This is a popular card. It says, gains attack, add something back once per turn, so it's just... The only thing this is going to do is attach one monster your opponent controls as material. And... it's an Xyz summon. Is that an Xyz summon using Xyz monsters? Yeah. I'm not sure what threatening thing this could rank up to. Oh, oof. You bought Pegasus and Topaz Ultimates. Did you get a good price on them? I think Sapphire Pegasus doesn't have the greatest looking ultimate in my opinion, but Topaz Tiger with the stripes looks amazing. What are people running the Melody of Awakening Dragon for? I'm guessing maybe that Draglubion combo? Oh no, am I gonna get the silly, like, OTK thing here? Are people using this just as a rank 8 engine? That's a lot of dedication in the deck for one summon. No way. The Blue Eyes Horus Xyz armor deck? This is very weird. There's a lot of rank 8 stuff. I'm probably getting that weirdo FTK thing again. Anyway. I got my Sapphire and Topaz Ultimates a very, very, very long time ago, before Ultimates were discontinued and became valuable. I remember I got all 3 of my Rainbow Ruins for $30, and now they're each more than that. Because somehow, Ancient City Rainbow Ruins has yet to get a holo print, which is ridiculous. They even once, actually twice, they've made a point of reprinting as many Crystal Beast cards as possible to become holos. Now, if I... Oh, he didn't set his full armor Xyz trap. So you can banish it. I can prevent from banishing here. I think the only way I'm going to get rid of this Horus stuff is by going for Overdrive. And I do have a good enough combo to go Overdrive here. And I can use Crystal Bond to take out that Xyz armor card without putting a monster on the field for it to steal. This is another reason why I love Overdrive, because Conclave Control would have nothing to do against a deck like Horus. I can't go for a Beacon combo, but... do I go directly to Golden Rule? Sure. Well... So anyway, a Conclave Control build would have nothing to do about King Sarcophagus and these Horus cards. They just stand there menacingly, but as soon as you take any of these cards off the field, they will all trigger and just wreck you. But with Rainbow Overdragon, no matter how many cards your opponent puts on the field, even if they are immune from targeting and destruction, Overdrive gets rid of all of them. So, I feel very secure when I play a deck like this, knowing that no matter what my opponent does... Oh wait, a card left the field. Oh crap, I triggered it anyway. Oh, I forgot. It triggers off of any removed card, not just the Horus cards. Oh, I'm a clown. It's gonna... Oh god, draw 3? Okay, that's super painful. I should have just allowed the opponent to gobble up one of my monsters. Ugh. See, again, I'm too busy lecturing about silly things on the stream and not focusing on the gameplay. I have a newfound respect for people who play Yu-Gi-Oh! While streaming. 'Cause this game takes up 100% of your brain. I don't have much left over. Nothing but breathing and fine dining. So you say it was quite expensive, but absolutely worth it to you. Yeah, I bought a Ghost Rare Rainbow Dragon for $150. It doesn't even look good, but it's a little piece of history, and it reminds me of how much I love Crystal Beasts. And that was worth it to me. I bought it with some winnings from a tournament. So it was like, oh, what if instead of that, I won a Rainbow Dragon? Which I like very much. And yeah, I have seen Crystal Beast Horus. From what I've seen, it looks like it's basically just Conclave stuff and then Horus stuff. So I'm not sure what the deal is. Now, if I'm trying to plan ahead here, figure out... if the opponent's got a Primal Being, do I want to play into that? I've got 5 crystals right now. But no guarantee that I'm going to get more. Or that I'm going to get enough. I could get rid of this Miracle. Okay, I need to actually think here. I think I will... Ah, man, I should have played another level 4, but I didn't think ahead this much. I could have gone for Banshee and get the Nemeses, also Dugaries to draw 2 and discard this Crystal Miracle. Drawing 2 and discarding the Miracle is going to be very helpful if I can... yeah. I really need to find Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates. That's what's going to get me out of this. So I think I've used up Crystal Bond. Let me check. Let's make this Miracle. Yep, there we go. We've got it. Whew. Alright, so now I'll just summon this. I'm going to get to summon Sapphire twice now, and I also have Rainbow Dragon. I have Crystal Miracle in the graveyard, which will be worth another crystal. So I have more than enough, especially since I also drew Topaz. And it's time to draw more! And it seems the opponent does not have anything they can activate here. So I'm just gonna go nuts. We've got a clear path to victory here. I don't have to use half the cards I've got. Just to make sure. I want to count my crystals. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now, when everything is gas, everything is gas. Just like me after I eat too much pasta. So the next move, I'm not even gonna go for World Sea Dragon Zealantis. I don't have to deal with that. I can just go directly to Sheep and Rainbow Dragon. Going through Sheep to get Ruby, we'll just get Crystal Beasts out of the back row so that they can then be used as material for my Rainbow Overdrive Wombo combo. I really don't mind the Horus matchup. Oh wait, I already have Rainbow Dragon available. Oh. Well, I'm gonna summon Bow of the Goddess anyway. Summoning Bow of the Goddess even when you're going overkill is also great. Save it for negating a primal being, because then there's going to be no point at which the opponent can drop their primal to stop Overdragon from going through. So either you stop it here, and I summon Overdragon next, or you wait until it's already too late, because Apollo's out. Now, did anything here prevent me from attacking? Let's see, they cannot be destroyed. Start of the damage step, send that opponent's monster to the graveyard. Alright, I cannot battle them. Here we go. Time to select every card individually in a new dialogue because Master Duel is not very thoughtfully designed. Whee! It's fun to watch them zoom around. So now, we simply proceed to the battle phase. And board wipe. I love that they combined Crystal Beast, Crystal Abundance with the Rainbow Dragon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And another thing, don't go for the victory lap and trigger your sapphires here. Because I did that at a YCS, and it turned out the opponent had Psyframe Gear Gamma in their hand. So they were able to stop my kill here. Wait, what? Oh. I was really banking on people not running that card. But they do. Everything is gas, and I think I have a gas cramp. And I have used all of my spells. So I am just dead. Mega oof. Yikes. What is this trigger for? I do need to think of a way to stop Horus the Black Flame deity. Okay, correction. I did not mind the Horus matchup before they got that card. But now the strategy that I was using to defeat them before doesn't work anymore. I'm just gonna cry. Okay, would I say that Crystal Miracle 1-of is a must in Rainbow City versions? Yes, because you will not always be able to set up Rainbow Ruins. So Crystal Miracle gives you options. Now, what you saw in this turn of me using it as discard fodder to get more crystals is not the typical use, and also not a required use. Because, as you saw, I was getting to that Rainbow Dragon regardless. But, big oof. I really gotta find a new way around these Horus dummies. Does anyone know how to beat Horus? Because I used to. Oh man. Could I just have used Nightmare Phoenix or SP Little Knight? Yeah. I should have used Nightmare Phoenix or Little Knight to remove the sarcophagus. And then I would have been able to attack safely. That's it. Won't happen again. Okay, I need to avenge myself. That was embarrassing. This is not a day of my best dueling. And also another thing about Crystal Miracle is that it doesn't take much commitment. You're just slapping one extra card in your deck. And even with a Rainbow Ruins setup, it's still another thing that you can search for to add to that end board. You're not going to be able to negate everything all the time. Anytime I remove Miracle from my deck, it feels so much less safe. Because I lose those defensive options. And I'm not letting you get to your monkey board. No, sir. Every time I see... I see so many Crystal Beast Turbo decks that run no defensive options, which means if their combo gets stopped, they have nothing else they can do, and even if their combo does go through, and they can negate monsters with Apollousa, they can't negate spells and traps. So a simple Rokket, or Evenly Matched, or Dark Ruler No More, any of that will take them out. You gotta be able to protect yourself from board breakers. I have 2 Revolution Synchrons in this build. Huh. You learn something new every day. Don't worry, I'm a professional. I definitely know which cards I'm using. And why? I cut one of the rainbows out of this deck and I'm still opening with them. Master Duel just hates me today. It's just jealous. Oof. Well, hopefully they don't have another Performapal Skullcrobat Joker. What is a Skullcrobat? Someone look into that. I could use Valence World to push it back and destroy what's behind it. And it only triggers off normal summons. So, don't mind if I do. Play Valence World against a Pendulum deck. They will be able to push back my Revolution Synchron on their turn, but I'll be able to summon it back on mine. It's a very weird spell. What did I destroy? Soul of the Supreme King. Oh, they had no idea that was all I had. No, please. No. Okay, go away. Ugh, dog is fine. I'm pretty sure the dog is fine. Sorry about that. Alright, one more and we're out of platinum. So you want to play 2 Rainbow Ruins in 60 card build? Well, the point isn't to draw that. The point is that you search for Rainbow Ruins using Terraforming, Goods to Salvation, Awakening to Salvation, or using Destrudo, or Revolution Synchron going through Ancient Fairy Dragon to cycle through your field spells. You're not trying to draw Rainbow Ruins. Well, also you can draw it, but generally you won't. Yeah, I can do this. I can use Rainbow Ruins to search for Crystal Bond to go with the golden rule that I'm going to get off of this. I always like to put Power Tool Dragon in the extra monster zone, because if I am going to Link Summon, I will be using this as material. And make sure that you use Power Tool Dragon before using the Revolution Synchron, otherwise you will mill one of your golden rules. I want to move this a bit. Okay. I totally get wanting to use both Rainbow Ruins. I have 3. But one of the advantages to this field stuff... Oh look, there go one of my field spells. It's supposed to be that you're running a whole bunch of different cards. The power of the deck comes in not running multiples, so that you instead have more cards you can search for. You want to have different fields, so that you can access different effects through your terraforming and your salvation. The point is to maximize your options. And to have a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon protecting your Ruby Swarm off Golden Roll. Now from this, I will be safe to go for an early Nemeses combo. Even though I don't have Beacon in this build, and I really want that Beacon back. I think well, this is this is supposed to be the control version, even though I'm always doing turbo stuff with it. But then I figure if I'm gonna put Beacon in here, I might as well switch back to the combo version. But again, the differences in builds are so small, but it lets you do so many different things. Which is also a reason why it took me so long to force myself to build just... Oh, that was the wrong card to place, wasn't it? Did I use Rainbow already? No, I have it in hand, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, I was never able to build just straight Conclave control, because... Hey, just put a couple more Crystal Beasts in the deck and now you can summon Overdrive. I finally did make a Conclave control build which did not summon Rainbow Dragon. But then I realized I was losing a bunch of duels because opponents had too many cards on the field. And yes, I did need to go... Oh, I just misplayed so horribly. I can't go for the Nemeses play here because I accidentally did not place the Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, so now I have to link away the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. But hey, the game hasn't been pausing for an opponent's response, so it might be that they don't have anything anyway. Oh, I'm so distracted. Well, here's a Nemesis anyway. I need to hold on to the Rainbow Dragon so that I can get back to some way to get that banished monster. Actually, no, I didn't need that at all anymore. No, I need a Sapphire. That's what I needed. And I want to get more cards out of my hand. Let me plan ahead here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Crystal Beasts. If I summon Sapphire, I'll have 6. Resummon it, I'll have 7. So I can afford to go for a Rainbow Bridge of Salvation here, because I already used my normal summon. If I have to use Saryuja's summon to get this Sapphire played, then I won't be able to get the Cobalt Eagle out of my hand. But I think I'll be fine. Ooh, but now, am I gonna have enough crystals to fuel Rainbow Ruins? I'll have one Sapphire here. I'll play a second. Yeah, I'm gonna do something weird here, but I think I can get it. It's just gonna be a lot of weirdness. I thought ahead, you'll just watch it play out, and this will make sense. Thinking far ahead here. I'm going to use Rainbow Dragon as one of the materials for a sheep, because I can use this Nemesis Corridor turning into Colossus as what will fuel, what will trigger the sheep's summon. I have to watch the number of crystals I've got. I don't think I'll have enough open monster zones that I'll be able to afford to summon a ruby and keep going. Oh, I made such an awful misplay at the beginning. But I think I can salvage it. But before I do, I'm gonna have Rainbow Overdragon banish something from the graveyard so that I can summon the Nemeses later. Oh man, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do this. Hold on. No, I can't use Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon because I took the last Crystal Beast out of my deck. I am learning that I'm very bad. I almost linked this away without activating it. I am very bad at trying to chat. I've got way too much on my mind right now. Oh wait, I will be able to use the Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon after I return this banished card to the deck. Wait. No, after I do that. There's no reason not to play the corridor right here. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get as many Crystal Beasts on the field as possible. If I summon... So I go here. These will be a sheep. And then I'll summon a ruby. And then I'll have to move up 2 crystals. I have 3, that'll put me down to 1. A sapphire gets me back up to 2. I cannot play ruby here. So instead, I'll play another sapphire, so then I have space to crack the rainbow. Yeah, I agree with you. Running all the engines together does feel the best. Oh, but with Springins too, you say. I really don't like the Springins engine. I get that it turns 2 level 4s into an instant Saryuja Skull Dragon. And there's definitely value in that. But I don't like that it involves putting several bricks in the deck. And I just don't want to fill my deck with more bricks. Crystal Beasts can already have a lot of trouble with those hands. Anyway. Oh, shoot. I forgot to draw off of Rainbow Ruins when I had 4 crystals. I've got too much on my mind right now. This will be negated. I can do Gary's, Ruby, Sapphire. There we go. Found a new way through this. But it's going to cost my next main phase. But maybe the opponent will surrender. They usually surrender. You've played a lot with Ravine, and you think it's the weakest engine in here. I agree, but like, typically I find it to be rather harmless. Although, oh, and I also could have summoned Rainbow Dragon and I wouldn't have had to bother with this. Too much to think about. And I'm running out the timer in 1 turn. Which is not ideal. I gotta hurry. I think this is the end here. I ended on 1 spell negate. That's really lousy. I am so distracted. Yeah, at the last regional I played in, like 3 times I opened with... do I have ultimate? No. Yeah, like 3 times I opened with Ravine and Destrudo, and a hand which bricked everything else, had nothing to discard. And so I lost. But like, what are the odds of opening like that so many times in one day? It was frustrating. But then also, the times when I remove Dragon Ravine, I find myself with a field search and things I need to discard, and then I greatly regret. Oh, crap. My Apollo's dead. What an awful duel. I made so many misplays because I'm trying to be an entertaining streamer. Gah. See, it's another one of those cards where every time I take it out, like, oh, now I lose because I don't have it. Oh, does the opponent not have any Pendulum monsters to discard? Wow. I got nothing. You say, even Magical Hound feels better. What are you using Magical Hound for? as like a replacement for Ravine stuff. Because Magical Hound for me is a delightful side deck card. I don't think this opponent is... Oh... Did they... Oh no, that's triggering Wizard Dragon. It's destroyed. Get negated. Yeah, I also haven't been using Naturia Beast, because I figure if I'm going first, and I've got stuff to do, Rainbow Ruins can cover that now. And it's very consistent. Yeah, we gotta skip to the battle phase, Well, something nice is what's going on here. I accidentally clicked attack instead of activate. I cannot activate trap cards. Well, that's fine. I don't have trap cards. Let's get rid of these. So it used to be that like, I did side in Rainbow Ruins before Golden Rule. I would use it with Miracle and Conclave. So that Miracle and Conclave would play into each other, I would get 3 crystals immediately. So when I went for a control opening, I would play Rainbow Ruins. But now with Golden Rule, it's also much more consistently possible to go for a turbo opening and still enable Ruins. So whether I go for a turbo or a control opener, Rainbow Ruins is live. Well, I made it out of Platinum 4 with all this very, very sloppy dueling. Ugh. I mean, it doesn't look that bad, but it looks that bad in my soul. I need a breather for a moment. Yeah. So Spring's combo turns Pegasus into a safe 1-card combo. I mean, it's still vulnerable to Ash and Infinite Impermanence, and it's not a 1-card combo if you have drawn into any of that Springin stuff. Because then that engine has taken draws away from you. Like, in a perfect world, where you never draw the bricks, yeah, it's amazing. But I'm just not confident that it's a build like that is going to draw well enough consistently enough. How many dual passes? I got the funny internet number. Maybe I'll like redeem this when it hits 100 and I'll get all of them at once. I did not end up building the Noble Knight deck, but I think I'm gonna call this a stream. It's been 3 hours, so I think that was the last duel. And maybe next time I'll have prepared a Noble Knight deck. I thought I was gonna just wing it and throw something together here on stream, but turns out it's very difficult to think about deck building while also having conversations and explaining everything. As some of you may have seen from when I was trying to do this very weird retro Sapphire Surprise stuff. As for other decks I have on here, nothing all that fun. What was I saying? I was saying for that Limit 1 festival, maybe I could do some Limit 1 dueling on stream. When is that? It's gonna be on the 14th. That's in 2 days. When does it go until? The 25th. Maybe can I do that in a couple of weeks? 26. I'll have to stream on Saturday. I'll stream on Saturday next time, maybe. Thanks for the stream as usual. Well, thank you for being here. Because we would not have so much to talk about without some good Yu-Gi-Oh conversation going on here. My brain is fried. I keep thinking maybe I'll get better at dueling and streaming at the same time, but I think I've been getting worse at it. I've got a lot of distractions here, and a sick dog. So I don't want to deal with. Someone else is dealing with her now. That's fine. Well, yeah, any closing thoughts before I wrap this up? I think 3 hours is going to be a good target for these streams, and wherever the heck these builds ended up. I've built another version of like a control-based Crystal Beast deck using 7 Crystal Beasts exactly, well, plus extra Sapphires. So like it can get to Rainbow Dragon, but also it needs Nemeses returning the Crystal Rainbow first. And I am so very bothered by this visual of that little one next to Foolish Burial Goods, as if this card was really so much of a problem. Nobody uses it. Nobody's using this. Well, I feel like in Master Duel they just limit things and forget about them. It wasn't even all that great in tier limits, which is what they banned it for. Yeah. Yep. Alright, that's the stream. Crystal Beasts, and I'll definitely have Noble Knights. I think I'm probably gonna do a stream with the Limit 1 Festival and play Knights for it, because they can run so many supplementary engines. Losing the Fighting Flame Swordsman cards, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's like 7 cards out of the deck. TCG feels much better right now than Master Duel. I mean, I kinda always just hate Master Duel because it has Max C in it. And there's no good reason for Max C to exist. People say that Max C keeps control decks, keeps combo decks in check, but no, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has still been pretty dominated by combo decks for a very long time. Max C has not kept them out. So, bad card for the health of a game when every deck is running 3 of them. Bad for diversity. I've not really kept up with the TCG much. I was playing a lot in tournaments at, like, when my Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos first took off. January, February, I think a bit of March, I was playing in a lot of tournaments, but now I haven't been because I feel like I've got enough to vlog about already. If I need more material, I'll hit up more tournaments, but for now, I think I would rather spare myself from that. Every now and then I think, oh, maybe it'd be fun to play in a tournament again, but then I remember they're very stressful and poorly organized. And also have to drive too far for them. Coming back to Yu-Gi-Oh! After almost 15 years? You got 15 years away from this game and you came back? I wouldn't have. Like, save yourself. If you get away, like, stay back. You got away from it, you're free. Play Speed Duel at home with your friends and loved ones. Have fun with that. But, and like, what a coincidence that the video which marked my official departure from Yu-Gi-Oh! Got tens of thousands of views, and now this is what I have to do, so now it pulls me back in. I was glad to be away, but then it pulled me back in like you've never been before. Yeah, same, and I think a lot of that is also because we're older now, and we have, like, You know, we can spend more, we can travel more, we can go overboard more. And also, because building decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is cheaper than it's ever been. Like, I just built a big Spirit deck for like $20, an all-foil Plunder Patrol deck for $30, and I capped off these Noble Knights for like 20 or 30, plus the Flame Swordsman stuff. Wow, you spent 500 euros in 2 months, and yeah, Rarity Collection. I was playing in a lot of tournaments, winning Rarity Collection packs. And yeah, like, I'm a purveyor, not purveyor, I'm a connoisseur of budget decks. So I've built a whole bunch of decks recently, and I'll probably make videos about some of them. I like the budget decks. I don't so much spend on the big stuff, except for my Crystal Beast deck, which I bought Quem for Sapphire Surprise. I bought Revolution Synchron for Rainbow, and both of those cards just happened to spike exactly when I bought them and tank directly afterward. So I have very bad luck when it comes to making mid-sized investments in the 2 decks that I care about keeping competitively optimized. All the rest, fun casual decks. And that's just the way to go. I mean, there are people who will spend 500 euros in 2 months, every 2 months, chasing whatever the top deck happens to be. And that's just a lot of money that could be spent building like 6 trillion casual decks. And then you also have to consider that, like, if you are spending $500 to build the meta deck of the week, are you really getting $500 of tournament winnings out of that? Whereas you could build a deck that costs 1/10 of that and only has like a slightly lower win rate. It's not like the end of the world if you don't win every tournament you compete in. Although, some decks you kind of can do quite well. US cards are quite cheap compared to French cards. Well, I do imagine the English language prints are much easier to access because they are, bigger supply. Alright, well, if you're French, does that mean you play Infernoble Knights? Because I'm gay and I play Crystal Beasts, so... And I wish I was British, so I played the British Knights. You don't go to tournaments yet? Well, build up your collection, and when you feel comfortable, check out the local scenes, and if you find an OTS that you don't really feel welcome at, if you're not having fun, don't go back there. You don't have to. Playing in no tournaments is better than playing in crappy tournaments. Because then you're just wasting time along with your money. If you're not having fun, what's the point? There's also people who are chasing every meta deck of the week. Those aren't decks that they feel a personal connection to. And so they're not really having fun, and they're not winning that much more often either. And I can also say from personal experience, even if you are winning tournaments, that doesn't make it a good day. If you don't have friends who you can share the celebrations with, then you're wasting your time. Even if you win, you'll still feel like a loser. You go to locals, but no YCS or World Championship qualifiers. It is definitely for the best that you have not attended a YCS or bigger champion event. Because, well, actually, I hear in Europe they're managed better, but at least here in the States, these events are so horribly mismanaged. Like, the second day of the national championship that I attended, I played a total of like 8 duels or matches or whatever. I played more duels in one regional than I did that whole weekend. So, if you don't have to it's bad. Is it bad in Europe too? Or do you just mean like the American horror stories? Oh man, I mean, I had a little section in my national championship vlog where I vlogged about how, okay, yes, you saw that video where I talked about what happened at the national championship. Oh, what a mess. And like, oh, the employees, bless them, they are not given the resources they need. They don't even know what resources are available. It's this, every part of the management is so awful. And Yu-Gi-Oh's head tournament organizer has gotta go. She's not putting together good events. I guess I'm just passionate about event management, and they are not. So I don't go out of my way to attend big tournaments. Definitely not worth it. And I also don't want to go out of my way to support Konami's mismanagement of these events. I just want to have fun with the game. And I notice generally the more big tournaments I play in, the less fun I'm having. So it's been interesting to try to like reevaluate my relationship with Yu-Gi-Oh! As I go on this YouTube adventure. It's very weird to be like jumping back into this game and trying to no, I just completely lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Who am I? Are you my grandson? Do you smell toast? Reevaluating my relationship with this game and finding a healthy relationship for continuing with it on like a competitive level. Whereas before these videos took off, I was just happily keeping it casual. But then I've had to play competitively again to get material for this channel. And I found weirdly, I talked about this in my Unburning Bridges vlog, but the tournaments have been less stressful now because my goal isn't to win or even to personally have a good time. Now my goal is to gather anecdotes that I can talk about in videos. So even if I am personally having a miserable time, I'm still succeeding as long as I get some stories out of it. So it's like I'm playing a very different game. I don't have to personally care how the duels go so much. Just some weird food for thought there. Well, okay, so there's our little fireside Yu-Gi-Oh chat, post-stream chat. Yeah, I've been pushing myself a little harder recently. Now that I'm doing Master Duel streams, I gotta get up through Platinum. Maybe for the next stream, I'll be in whatever's beyond Platinum. What is it, Diamond now? And then it's Legend? I don't know. I'll get there. But I do not love grinding on Master Duel. It's like... Master Duel has all the, like, frustration of physical Yu-Gi-Oh, but without the socialization. So if your opponent is comboing off, you can only feel bad about it. Whereas in a tournament setting, if my opponent's comboing off, I can be like, oh wow, that's so cool, we can have a conversation about it. I can see someone be happy that their combos are working. Whereas in Master Duel, like, I'm not even looking at what the opponent does in their turn. I'm just doing something else on my phone. And deck building in Master Duel, I really don't like. partly because a lot of the cards, like, you can't build as many decks as you want, and also you can't keep the cards physically by you. Like, you can't have a pile of cards that you use for modifying a deck. You can't go back through the Speed Duel box and look through all your options for cards. You just, with this search here, you have to just, like, remember what cards exist. There's no way you can search for useful things on here. It's the deck building you find satisfying and the knowledge I have with crystal beasts. Oh, well, thank you. I am spreading my knowledge here. And it's also very interesting to hear what my viewers find with crystal beasts and what engines they recommend and what weird piles we end up with in all of these weird decks. Okay. I'm gonna end this stream for realsies this time, because it's been 3 hours and 12 minutes. I think 3 hours is a good, reasonable target for these streams, because I get very tired by the end of them. I will let y'all go. Thanks for chatting, and I will see you next time too, and we will probably be in the Limit 1 Festival for the next go. Alright, bye y'all. Yu-Gi-Oh!